This is a Marketing for Learning podcast, the only podcast in the world that's guaranteed to increase your knowledge, skills, and capabilities when it comes to marketing for learning. Plus, there's a gratuitous amount of pineapples. You're welcome.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Marketing for Learning podcast. It's Hannah here with you today, and I'm recording this episode off the back of a webinar I recorded this week with the team at How Now for L&D Disrupt. And in that session, we got onto the topic of when marketing won't help L&D. Why you can't outmarket a bad learning experience. So I wanted to carry on that thought a little bit and dig a bit deeper into the occasions where I genuinely, as probably the biggest marketing for learning advocate in the world, I genuinely don't think marketing will help L&D get the impact that they actually want. The first example is the one that we talk about most often here at Mass, and it's when we say you can't outmarket a bad learning experience. If your learning experience is pants, your people will realise it. I could put on the world's best marketing campaign for you. We could get in the teams, like the marketing agencies that Coca-Cola use, the John Lewis Christmas ad. We could get those people in to create your marketing for learning campaigns for you. But if your learning is rubbish, your people won't come back. You won't get long-term engagement. You need to make sure that your learning experiences are also standing up. You wouldn't rebuy a terrible product in the supermarket. So we can't expect our people to repeatedly keep buying a terrible product from us. And following on with that example a little bit, if you went into a new shop, you bought something and it fell apart within 2 days, or you went to a restaurant and you ate something and it made you incredibly sick, it would take you a lot to go back to those establishments, wouldn't it? The same goes again for our audience. If they have a bad experience with us, it's going to take them a lot to be convinced to come back and trust us again. So that's the first time. I think if you know you've got a terrible learning experience, fix that first. Make sure you've actually got a product that stands up to what your people want and need from you as an L&D team. The second time I don't think you'll get any impact with marketing for learning is when you're doing the marketing tactics but you've not changed your thinking. Absolutely anybody could write a, on paper, brilliant email. One that follows through all the top tips that you've read on Mass's blog, and you've heard on our podcast, maybe you've read online elsewhere. But if you haven't changed your thinking, and you haven't really deeply investigated who your audience are, what they want from you, why they should even care, it's not going to land. You could create a show-stopping marketing-grade video, but if the message behind it doesn't resonate with your target audience, it's not going to land. That doesn't mean that marketing doesn't work for your organisation. It means that you didn't do it right. If you're not changing your thinking and your approach, you're not adopting a marketing mindset, then you are going to struggle to get real impact with marketing for learning. It's not a quick fix. It's not an easy win. It is a long-term change, and a change in our approach and our intentions when we are developing learning, when we are trying to get people hooked and engaged with our learning. It's a change in what we do. We can't keep expecting something different to happen when we keep making the same assumptions and cutting the same corners. And the final reason why I think marketing for learning wouldn't work for an organisation is if you're refusing to think long term. Marketing, like I've already said in this episode, is not a quick win. It's not a short-term fix. It's definitely not the bit that comes after all the rest of your learning development. It's not just promotion. If you go back and listen to our 4Ps podcast episode, you'll realise that actually promotion is only 25% of what we do in marketing. We need to start thinking long-term and bigger picture if we actually want marketing for learning to work. If you're listening to this podcast and thinking, yeah, great, I'm going to apply this to this campaign that is running between September and December this year, and then that's it, my job is done, you're thinking about this wrong. Absolutely, you can apply stuff to a campaign that's running between September and December this year. But what happens afterwards? Then what? Do we just go back to being silent and not engaging with our audience? And then perhaps this time next year we're sat here again thinking, oh, what can we do to get those engagement rates up? Maybe we should run another campaign from September to December 2025. We need to be thinking consistently. We need to be making sure we're marketing consistently and thinking of that what next? What's the next step? I've spoken about the hum, sing and shout methodology on here before, and that's a really great way of making sure that you're consistent and thinking long term with your marketing for learning initiatives. But if you're literally only following your nose and thinking short term, marketing for learning is not going to work for you. You need to have the right mindset. You need to be thinking big picture. And we need to start doing something differently. So this was a really, really quick, snappy episode for you this week. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some food for thought. Because I feel like I've been on a bit of a soapbox recently about L&D taking charge of the change that we want to see within our functions. We want to be perceived differently. We want to make an impact that we know we can make. We want our people to realise how valuable our resources are, and we want our stakeholders and our senior management to be realising the exact same. But if we want that change, we have to make that change. So I'm ending this episode again on a bit of a call to arms. Please start being that change. Make sure your learning experiences are up to scratch. Make sure you are actually changing the way you think. Don't just pay it lip service. Don't just say all the great stuff and then still just be happy ticking a box, being an order taker. Don't just assume that your employees are all the same or that their job title actually represents them in any way, shape or form. Get to understand your audience. Think about what's in it for them. And think long term. As always, if you have any comments or questions about today's episode, please feel free to get in touch. I do love speaking to you guys. I have a few guest speakers lined up now as well. So hopefully if you're getting bored of hearing me whittling on to myself, we'll have some fresh people on the podcast for you very, very soon. But if I don't speak to you before, I'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing for Learning podcast. See you later, guys.